Hello, everyone. So, just a quick disclaimer. So, the screen share portion of the video, which essentially showed the slides, was not working due to technical difficulties, which resulted in a black screen. So, therefore, this video will be presented in talking head style, which essentially just shows my face on screen. So if you do want to look at the slides while viewing this video, the link for the Google Slides is available in the description. So again, apologies for the technical difficulties. I hope it did not distract from the learning. So, but I do hope you enjoy this video and happy learning. Hello, welcome to Lessons On with yours truly, Nomfanelo Malloy, where with this, we'll be focusing on writing an active monologue for film and TV. So this video is all about editing. Essentially, at this point, you're done hopefully writing your monologue. So essentially, it's all about finessing it in terms of editing, formatting, and what to do with the monologue. So if this is the last video for this segment, so please watch the previous videos to catch up if you have not. Let's start. Now, big question is, like, when you're writing the monologue or so forth, do I need screenwriting software? I'm going to say technically no, you do not, but I very, very highly recommend that you do so. Because unless if you know the formatting off by hand, like I highly recommend you do not try to, let's say, write the monologue on a Word document, because for me as a script reader, like, I've seen numerous mistakes, and formatting is one of the things that catches my eye every time. Even though people use screenwriting software, they still make this mistake, but I see it more for those when you can tell that it is not formatted properly. So I do have some recommendations. So in terms of free software, the ones really that is available, so there's Arc Studio, Celltext, Fade In, and Writer Duet, all of which they have paid versions, but for the free versions, there's limitations to it. Now, in terms of the paid software, Final Draft is essentially the most recommended one. I have Final Draft myself too, and it works wonders for me. And there's also Movie Magic. So do your research to find out what best works for you and your needs. So please use software for writing your monologue for film and TV. Now, formatting. So when it comes to the descriptions, only write what the audience will see and hear. I've seen numerous scripts where with the descriptions, people tend to include character thoughts, which is a big no-no, because how is the character going to, how is the audience going to interpret that? Because we can't see what they're thinking unless if they're speaking it out loud or if there's a voiceover that indicates that. And descriptions, please write it in third person. So do not include I or you or we, because I've seen numerous scripts that do that. And when I see that, I think, who is we? Because I'm not in the script. You're not in the script. So third person, please. And don't go overboard with the details in the action lines unless if it's very crucial. So keep it simplistic with the descriptions, because I hear with some directors or producers, they get very annoyed if the descriptions are very detailed. So keep it simple. And for parentheticals, so if let's say a character has to speak a certain way or needs to react a certain way, please use the parentheticals for dialogue only when necessary, because I've seen some scripts where there's brackets in the action line, which is a big no-no, because action lines should only be reserved for the action that is visible on screen. And when I see brackets, it annoys me. So, and as I said, please use screenwriting software, whether it's free version or paid version. And read screenplays. I put that with an asterisk because there are screenplays, thousands of screenplays out there that it may be good in terms of a storytelling perspective, but in terms of formatting is not the best. So I do also recommend reading materials on screenwriting so you could know and get familiar with the formatting. So in terms of editing, so first and foremost, review the spelling, grammar, formatting, that jazz, because it'll be annoying if, let's say, you send it to a producer or industry professional where it might be the best monologue in terms of storytelling and all those other aspects. But when it comes to the formatting, if it's all over the place, then they are not going to accept it. So read it on your own many times, and then have multiple people, whether it's friends, family, or if it's any colleagues or any other writers or whoever, to read it and get suggestions, not just on like the presentation of the monologue, but also to in terms of the dialogue, the plot, the characters, so forth. Make sure too that the hook is strong at the beginning, because just like in a movie, like if the opening minutes of a movie don't stick with you, then the audience is going to tune out. So make sure that hook is strong. And the purpose of the monologue needs to be very clear. Don't just have the monologue deliver a monologue for the sake of the monologue, because going back previously with Taken, Brian wants to deliver the monologue to try to get the kidnappers to release his daughter, but then uses ultimatum if his reason, his his demands are not met. Or with Hidden Figures, for example, with Catherine, she delivers the monologue. This is when she gets called out by her boss for not spending enough time at her space. Essentially, she delivers her monologue to share her frustrations, how as a woman of color, how she has to go very far just to use the bathroom, and also to being mistreated by her white coworkers. And lastly, to focus on the structure. So make sure the monologue has a beginning, middle, and end. So the end does not have to like resolve the problem. It could be open-ended, but just make sure like it has a clear arc for the audience to follow. So now that you guys are done your monologue, you're done writing it, you ask, what can you do with it? Well, you can add it to your portfolio piece for one. So when you're applying for a job, a writing job, you could show it to the prospective employer in terms of the quality of your work. You could also too incorporate into a screenplay or a teleplay with something that you're working with, because maybe with the monologue, it represents one scene of a movie or a TV show that you're working on. So you could do that. Or maybe you could write a collection of monologues, because I don't know if they're doing this more now, but I remember way back when I was in school, I would always see like always books or like collections of a series of monologues for actors to use to audition with. And speaking of actors, you can use it for auditions, or you could use it for social media like TikTok or Instagram to highlight your skills on screen. So that pretty much is the conclusion of lessons on writing an active monologue for film and TV. So the link for the slideshow will be available in the description. It'll be a view only link. So essentially you could go to, if you want to make a copy save to your drive, you would go to File, click on Make a Copy, and then save it on to Google Drive. And if you have any questions or comments, leave it in the description. So what did you guys like about my presentation, or what did you dislike? I'd love to see all sorts of feedback. I'm not afraid to see negative feedback. I'm open-minded. So, and also too, you can follow me on social media. I'll have the links in the description. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also on Linktree at Nomfanelo. Please too, you could like and share the videos. Also to subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. And I'm gonna say thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video, and also to the series of these videos. And I hope to see you in the next one. And happy learning.